Thank you for joining Wars the Roses as we continue with part 4 of Ancient Mystic Oriental Masonry by R. Swinburne Clymer. 19. To those ancient sages, the cosmos was literally universe, or a revolution around one center. Their doctrines of the unity of nature, now confirmed by spectrum analysis and the reign of law, are systems of universal gravitation and cosmic evolution, were tersely summed up in the famous axiom of the Smagdorian tablet of Hermes: that which is below is as that which is above, and that which is above is as that which is below. This basic concept they expressed in various ways, as by ascribing to their rulers celestial descent while associating their great deeds with appropriate constellations, and in Egypt, if not elsewhere, by laying out the land, dividing its districts, and naming its cities, in allusion to astronomy, a course which Drummond makes it appear probable from an etymological examination of Hebrew names of places and persons. The 12 tribes of Israel pursued when they entered the Promised Land, bearing the 12 signs of the zodiac for tribal emblems. 20. From this point of view, it appeared remarkable, so far as the present writer could ascertain. No pyramid student had surmised that possibly in the Great Pyramid we possessed the connecting link between the astronomy and the geology of the ancients. Such a connecting link, if recovered, would naturally be expected to determine, incidentally, the long-lost equal measurement boundaries of the zodiacal constellations. And if it should further prove to be the link between the science and the religion of the ancients, then probably something might be discovered in the line of Schelling's brilliant hypothetical surmise. How if, in mythology, the ruins of a superior intelligence and even a perfect system were found, which would reach far beyond the horizon which the most ancient written records present to us? 21. This is just what we find. In the supreme initiation of the mystic and occult masonry, we have this key. Not only have we the key, but we have found the lost word, which the Master Mason degree teaches us was lost. There is no longer any guesswork in this, but it is a fact, as any Master Mason may prove for himself. In its degrees are the absolute secrets of all religions, and every initiate becomes a priest. This is possibly a bold claim to make in the present age of materialism, but to me it is a question whether even the ministers of the gospel have formed any idea that the present age of materialism is to give way within the near future to a science religion or religion science. 22. The round churches of the Templars were built in circular or circular, i.e. Gilgal, form in allusion to astronomical facts. All the round chapter houses and choirs were built round for the same reason the churches of the Templars were built round. And the chapter houses and crypts till the 13th century, the secret religion perpetuating the relics of a science not falsely so called, was celebrated in safe seclusion from the profane and ignorant vulgar. The eternal ethical truths deduced by the grandest minds from the astronomical events connected with the history of the planetary fratricide were communicated to the common people in the nave or navy of the church as the ark of salvation. In allegories like that of Hagar, Galatians 4, thus the initiates sought to bring within the reach of the humblest minds the fruits of the most difficult sciences and the most ancient learning. 23. The secret, i.e. sacred, religion arose from the natural and insuperable difficulty of communicating the great truths of astronomy to the ignorant, and of preserving records of the great phenomena of nature. Without universal relations, no ethic, but only expediency is possible. All the mystery and allegory grew up the necessity of using symbols and characters by which the skilled might communicate with each other, but which the ignorant run away with. And as they were infinitely in the majority, the learned found their system taking out of their own hands, and they were not allowed to rectify the errors of general ignorance, nor to explain their own meaning. 24. The secret orders never had any intention of being as secret as they are. Priests of the religion were only too willing to teach the people, but the people were no more willing to receive the truth then than they are now. The accusation by religious systems that the secret orders are of the devil because they do not admit all, initiated and uninitiated, is utterly false. It is not the men of these orders that exclude the people from them. It is the people themselves, through their ignorance, that excludes them. The priests of the genuine orders have learned long ago, as Christ taught, cast not pearl before swine, lest they trample upon it. All orders are open to the people if they are willing to learn. Mystic Masonry opens its door to supreme initiation, but it cannot take the ignorant on the same footing as the learned. For he who knows not the ABCs of education cannot become the teacher of Latin, nor can the ignorant of religion and philosophy become the teacher of these systems. The secret orders are open to those who are willing to learn and obey until such time as they are able to take care of themselves. 25. All Masonry deals largely with ethics and symbolism of the ancient mysteries. The writer believes that through the well-timed efforts of Masons today, the grandest achievements in knowledge ever gained by man, which were originally concealed in the greater mysteries of antiquity, and in time became lost to the world, may again be recovered. In the strictest sense, this knowledge has never really been lost, as there have always existed those who were possessed of the great secret. It was originally veiled in order to conceal it from the profane, and written in a universal language of symbolism, that the wise among all nations and throughout all time might read it, as it were, in their own language. It was also written in parable and allegory, so that the unlettered and common people might not be deprived of its wise precepts and of its force in shaping character, dissipating ignorance, and inspiring hope. This ancient wisdom is the foundation from which all Masonry takes its rise. The true science of symbolism in time became lost. The temples of initiation fell into decay or were destroyed by priests and potentates, jealous of their influence. For many weary centuries, men have been trying to recover the lost key and to restore the ancient wisdom from the parables and allegories in which it had been concealed. This lost key is fully and absolutely recovered in the degrees of Ancient and Mystic Oriental Masonry, not only the key to wisdom religion, but the religion itself. But progress in this inverse order is not only necessarily slow and uncertain, but all such attempts have, more or less, given rise to fantastic fights of the imagination, and resulted in confusion rather than enlightenment. The result has been to bring the whole subject under contempt and make the name mysticism mean something vague and uncertain, if not altogether foolish, to those ignorant of the true meaning. 26. It will be very naturally questioned whether any greater mysteries of antiquity existed, inasmuch as they were always concealed, never revealed to the profane, never published to the world, and only recorded in glyph, parable, and allegory. It has already been shown that all attempts to discover the real secret by running backwards from parable and allegory have resulted in confusion and discouragement. The interpretations resulting have been as fantastic and varied as the genius of each investigator. Had any of these been possessed of a universal key of symbolism or a complete philosophy of the secret doctrine, the result might have been very different. The solution of this question is not only greatly simplified when investigation is guided by such a philosophy or a complete key, but the investigator has the positive assurance at every step that he is on firm ground. 27. There has always been a tradition in the Far East, and to be often traced more or less vaguely in the West, that the Great Lodge of Magi, the Adepts, the Perfect Masters, known and designated also by many other names, have never ceased to exist, that this lodge has often, through secret and unknown, shaped the course of empires and controlled the fate of nations. That this is a fact beyond dispute has only lately been proven openly in the issuing of a secret mandate that the secret degrees of Mystic Oriental Masonry should be worked, and by the appointment of a Deputy Grand Master in America by the Supreme Order of the Universe. 28. Such a work has become possible because of a cycle of liberality and enlightenment, when the workers are not likely to be sacrificed to the Moloch of bigotry and superstition. Granting that such masters exist, and they do exist, and that they are possessed of profound knowledge, that they are ready to help the world must be ready and willing to receive such help, if it is to be benefited by it instead of destroying its agents. Guided, then, by a complete philosophy, armed with a key to symbolism, and aided by these grand masters, the lost mysteries of antiquity may be restored and made to tell their hoary secrets for the benefit of the coming ages. 29. Only the perfect master can so chip away the stone as to reveal in all its grandeur and beauty the divine ideal, and endow it with the breath of life. Such is the building of character. The fable of Pygmalion and Galatea is, after all, more real than history. The thread of history is not in isolated facts, joined by conjecture and wrapped to the ignorant, bigoted, and time-serving opinions of men. The real thread is to be sought in the theme that runs through the symphony of creation, in the lofty ideals that inspire the life of man, and that lead him from the clod and the lowlands, where hover the ghost of superstition and fear, to the mountains of light, where dwell forever inspiration and peace. Such ideals are the Christ, Hiram, and the perfect masters. 30. No genuine Mason, imbued with the spirit of liberality, will treat any religion with derision or contempt, or exclude from fellowship any brother who believes in the existence of God, the brotherhood of man, and the immortality of the soul. This Catholic spirit is the very foundation of Masonry, and any departure from it is unmasonic and subversive of the ancient landmarks and genius of Masonry. True Masonry has, for ages, held aloft the torchlight of tolerance, equality, and fraternity. The bigoted sectarian, whoever he may be, divides the world into two classes: those who, with zeal and blind faith, accept his dogma, and those who do not. 31. In its ritualism and monitorial lessons, Masonry teaches nothing in morals, in science, in religion, or in any other department of human knowledge or human interest, not taught elsewhere in current forms of thought or by the sages of the past. In these directions, it has no secrets of any kind. It is in the ancient symbols of Freemasonry that its real secrets lie concealed. And these are as densely veiled to the Mason as to any other, unless he has studied the science of symbolism in general, and Masonic symbols in particular. In place of the term mystic Masonry, the term symbolic Masonry might have been used alone. But just here lies the whole secret, a profound mystery, and few Masons up to the present time have had the interest or the patience necessary to such investigation. This is a fact, and not intended as either a criticism or a reproach. If lacking a knowledge of the profound meaning of Masonic symbolism and its transcendent interest and importance, Masons have allowed the whole organization not only to fail in all real progress, but to degenerate. That is indeed a reproach. 32. There was never greater need than at the present time, never so great an opportunity as now, for Masonry to assume its true place among the institutions of man and to force recognition by the simple power of brotherly love, relief, and truth, based upon philosophy such as nowhere exists outside of its ancient symbols. If the majority of Masons do not realize the true significance and value of all their possessions, there is all the more need for those who do to speak out, even in the face of discouragement and detraction, and do their utmost to demonstrate the truth. Does any intelligent Mason imagine that the guilds of practical Masons of a century and a half ago originated the order of Freemasons? There were indeed architects and master builders among them, but the great majority of Masons were far more ignorant as manual servants than the majority of such builders are today. 33. Freemasonry is modeled on the plane of ancient mysteries, with their glyphics and allegories, and this is no mere coincidence. The parallels are too clearly drawn. Brother Pike came to this conclusion after long and patient investigation, that certain Hermetic philosophers had a hand in the construction of the organization of free and accepted Masons, and if they embodied in its symbolism more than appears on the surface, and far deeper truths than the superficial student really discerns, it was evidently designed that future generations should discern and use these profound secrets. 34. In brief, then, the real secrets of Freemasonry lie in its symbols, and the meaning of the symbols reveal a profound philosophy and a universal science that have never been transcended by man. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and comment. And if you can, please consider donating towards the Rosies. Links to PayPal and Patreon are in the description. Thank you very much. If it is to be benefited by it,